Hey, everybody. David Swor here once again with DJ Cox for another episode of Frenemies. And DJ, I think this is going to be a good one, man. We got a lot to pack in here. It's been a crazy all-star weekend, a lot of things going on. Um, so let's just jump right into it. Let's just talk about this weekend. So, DJ, I told you off air, I didn't get to watch a lot of the all-star game, but let's just walk through from beginning to end, man. Start with home run derby. What'd you think about that?
Home run derby. So I had no thoughts that a right-hander would win in Colorado. I thought for sure one of those lefties was gonna there's like 5 decks up there, and I thought for sure a lefty would win it. Of course, I was wrong. I got a few things from the home run derby, David. Number one, Pete Alonso is a weird dude.
No, wait a minute. You know what I was getting ready to say to you? Pete Alonso instantly became one of my favorite players. I have never paid any attention to Pete Alonso. But when you get in an interview and throw in an office reference just right out of the gate, dude, where's this guy been? I mean, I guess I've never. And the fact that he practiced for this because he made more money winning home run derby than he did through the year.
Yep.
Kudos to you, man. And then I liked the attitude. Did you not like that, DJ?
I don't mind the attitude. I just think he's weird. He's just a weird dude.
You gotta explain that one.
I just think he's really weird. He's down there. I don't know, man. It was a weird vibe I got from him. I did not like it at all. I don't think I'd want to hang out with him. That's all I'm saying.
Gosh, I want that guy on my team. When you get up there and just after you're done say, yeah, I'm the best power hitter on the planet. Yeah, I can't argue with you, man. You just destroyed everybody else in this competition.
I got to hand it to him. I got to hand it to him.
About it. He was hitting rods too, man. I saw the top 10 furthest balls hit. I'm thinking he had 7 of them. So, I mean, anyway, I was all about it. I was super disappointed that Ohtani, I didn't get to watch it, but I listened to that part on the radio coming down the road. And I guess he just ran out of gas, right?
He did. He was completely gassed. And after he hit the first time, he had no shot. He was hanging with Juan Soto there for a while. I thought Soto was going to beat him just because he looked like he was going to fall over and die. And I don't know how. I mean, he doesn't hit. None of these guys hit like this, obviously, throughout the season. So this is way out of what they normally do. But Ohtani was super gassed, man. It's like the worst I've ever seen anybody gassed in the home run derby before. And there's been some guys that have struggled mightily. So he disappointed, I'm sure. There's a lot of people that thought he would go really far in this. He didn't go anywhere. Matt Olson has just got a weird stance for the derby, if that makes any sense. I didn't think he had a shot. With the weird stance he's got, he was pretty bad too. Salvador Perez, just no shot really. I mean, some of these guys you look at, he
ran into the best power hitter on the planet, DJ. That's the problem. I mean, I actually felt bad for Salvador. Like his last 10 swings were home runs. It went from like he has no chance to wow. And that's been a complaint that I've heard. I don't know. We can talk about that for a minute. A lot of people don't like the head-to-head. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't like it either. And we've talked about this in the past. I really think the bracket style's got to go. And if you got 8 guys, you take the top 4 to the next round, and you keep your total. I'd keep the total into the finals. I'd keep the total all the way through because we've had Vladimir Guerrero and Josh Hamilton lose home run derbies when they've put on the best displays I've ever seen in my entire life. And I hate that because they should have won it. That's the way I would do it. I get that it's not very TV friendly when you got a guy maybe at 43 and somebody else is at like 31 going into the finals and they really have no shot. I mean, you probably lose a little bit of, luster to it, but come on, man. These guys are jacking all night long like that, and then their scores get wiped clear, and then they come back out again. Ohtani would have hit like 3 home runs in the second round if he made it. He was that wiped out. Like, there's no way he would have even come close. So I like keeping the total. I like taking the top 4 scores because Salvador Perez would have advanced. Like, he was the second guy.
Second most, right?
Yeah. So That's not fair. I agree. I mean, he put on the second best show. And even from the beginning with the amount Alonso had, you knew he was done, so right away you knew he had no shot of advancing because of the total he had. And I don't know. I would do a different format. It's still a lot of fun to watch. It really was fun again this year. There's no doubt about it. Kind of mixed. What do you think about Chris Berman not doing it anymore? I mean, Chris Berman used to do it all the time, and I don't know. That kind of got a little old after a while, so I can see it's nice somebody else is doing it now. But
Yeah, I'm a huge Chris Berman fan. I mean, as far as announcer, I mean, I like the way he does football and everything, but it would see what was it? It was Matt Vasgersian and Marley Rivera. Is that who did it?
Yep.
So no A-Rod, thank God.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of A-Rod, he's got to come up in every episode just to get on my last nerve. But I loved reading in the paper today that A-Rod thinks that the Yankees team chemistry is no good. This is from the king of no chemistry that everyone on his team hated. I'm sorry. I just can't do it, DJ. I just can't do it. Everything that comes out of his mouth is stupid.
David, come on. You were hanging out with him on your vacation. That's what we were talking about on our last podcast.
Oh, I saw that. Don't worry. Don't worry. There's going to be a payback in here somewhere. So, DJ, moving on from Home Run Derby, I skipped ahead a little bit. Let's talk about the Futures game. So, I didn't get to watch any of the Futures game, but you sent me a text about the Martian, my boy Jason Dominguez. What was that all about?
Well, Dominguez got into the game, man, and he didn't do very well, but this guy's legit, man, and he's got a good future, and he's slowly moving up the ranks for the Yankees there. This was a lot of fun to watch, man. If you're not watching the Futures game, you need to check this out in the future because it's a 7-inning game, and you get to see the best prospects in the game going at it, man. It is a lot of fun. It's all these guys that we talk about, that top prospects on every team. They're all there. Like Bobby Witt hit the ball so stinking hard. I think he was 0 for 2, but he hit like 113 miles off the bat. And just right into somebody's glove, he hit it so hard. And man, you're seeing all those guys. You're seeing Spencer Torkelson. The AL team was just dominant. You got Adley Rutschman. You got all these guys that are out there. Riley Green for the Tigers as well. You're getting to see all these guys, and the MVP, David Brendan Davis, is the Chicago Cubs hitting 2 bombs in that game. He's going to be up very soon for the Cubs. Not this year for sure, but maybe coming up next year. So
I think he might be this year today. I think there's getting ready to be a few openings.
I don't think so. I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid. I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's Double-A right now. Don't quote me on that. But he's rising the ranks. He's the number 1 prospect in the Cubs organization for a long time now. It was really fun to watch him. He actually wasn't even a starter in the game, came off the bench and played and did awesome, obviously, and dominated for the Cubs there. It was a lot of fun to watch. Like I said, the lineups were stacked. If I wish I could knew them all off the top of my head here, but pretty much everybody's top prospect is in this game, and it's a lot of fun to watch, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. It was really fun to watch it.
On Dominguez, they actually promoted him after the game, so he's now in Low A, which is pretty cool. Everybody in Yankee Land's been waiting to see him. Everybody's saying that he's the second coming of Mickey Mantle, and there's been Mike Trout comparisons. I don't know about all that. He's
pump the brakes on that a little, but he's good.
He's got a thick body. That's what kind of bothers me about him, if I'm being honest with you. He looks a little round. Am I calling that right?
Yeah, it looks like a bowling ball, to be honest with you. And it's not really a baseball body, to be honest with you. It's not. It's definitely different. He looks like a bodybuilder. There's no doubt he's an animal. Like, he can totally, I'm sure, in the weight room just kill it. And, I don't know how well that'll transfer. We'll see. He's starting to climb the ladder here, like you said, a little bit. And he's got a good future. He's going to get up there pretty high. There's no doubt he'll eventually make it. But we'll see. I don't know about the whole Trout and Mantle thing. That's a little oof. But we talked about that in our Yankees podcast. He was being talked about with those guys a lot. So
yeah,
interesting, no doubt. He's got a good future, and Brendan Davis is coming up next year, and he'll be one of the Cubs outfielders for probably Jason Hayward, who'll get the boot here pretty soon. And we'll be moving along from him and Brennan Davis time in right field and Wrigley Field for a while to come.
So speaking of Cubs, DJ, speaking of Jason Hayward, how long is he signed for?
He's still got a year or two left on that deal, man, and it seems like
Gosh.
it's been forever ago since we signed him. And what a terrible contract that was. I will say that till the day I die. Not a good deal. He is he's not even starting anymore sometimes. He's just not. I don't know how you keep him in the lineup the way he's hitting, and he's not even close. And it's pretty bad, man. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't play him at all. I really wouldn't.
We got to talk. We got to talk about some stuff here in just a minute. But let's jump over to the All-Star game. So the American League wins again. I believe it was 7-2. Is that correct, DJ?
Yeah, that sounds about right. It was a whooping. The AL has won like the last 9, and I'm sick of it.
Well, so a couple cool things though. I thought it was pretty sweet that Dave Roberts started Max Scherzer. I know that didn't pan out like you thought, but he didn't get a start last year. And so I thought that was pretty cool. They let him start. I love Max Scherzer. I just think he's a dog, and I love that about him.
Well, we'll talk about him a little bit more a little on in the future here too. We'll get to that in a little bit as well. But yeah, you're right about that. I mean, Max Scherzer definitely deserved it. There's no doubt about it. I thought that was really cool too to see that. And Ohtani starting on the mound, he actually got the win, which is cool to see, obviously. I thoroughly enjoyed the All-Star game too. It was a lot of fun. I loved Chris Taylor making it for the first time. Big shout out to him. He totally deserved it. He's been killing it this year. The game got really cool and fun for me in the 6th inning when he came in and played center field, and then Chris Bryant came in and played left in the 6th inning there. That was really cool to see those two right next to each other. Those are like my 2 guys in the entire league right there. Probably top 5 favorite players right there. Those are 2 of them, no doubt. So that was really cool to see. That was Chris Bryant's 4th All-Star game, Taylor's 1st. So they all deserved it. Really cool. Man, they had these guys mic'd up too. I like that, get to hear that every once in a while too.
I heard that was a problem.
That was a problem in the 9th inning with your boy Liam Hendricks.
That's what I hear. Lots of F-bombs, and the FCC might have to get involved, I hear. So I didn't know anything about it, but I saw it on Twitter the next day.
If you understand Australian cussing, you were probably like embarrassed at the fact that he was on the mound there, because that was pretty bad with the live mic. So no doubt about that.
That's awesome. Wow. So the American League home field advantage, right?
No, that's done. They are not
done?
doing that anymore. Yeah, they stopped that a few years ago. So it's just basically for bragging rights now. And the one thing I am happy about the All-Star game is you've seen in the past here with like the Pro Bowl, which is a joke, and the NBA All-Star game, the NHL All-Star games, they kind of do like fantasy drafts and they mix it up. Baseball should never go away from the AL NL thing. It's too much of it means something in baseball. You know what I mean? Like people who are AL fans, don't want to be associated with the NL and vice versa. And so having that, keeping that NL AL thing they can't mess with that moving forward. I hope they never do. I will hate that if they really do. A lot of fun, man. I really enjoyed that game. Shout out to Cedric Mullins, man, of the Orioles starting the game, man. This guy comes out of nowhere. I think he's leading the league in hits, and wow, did he deserve it, man? Like over Mike Trout. Mike Trout got the fan vote, was hurt obviously, so he got the start, which is really cool. It was cool to see some of the guys you don't really get to see a lot of, and he's definitely one of those guys I don't get to see very much. So it was really cool to see it. Trey Mancini, another shout out to him in the home run derby too, man. We get to talk to him about him. Comeback player of the year already, stage 3 cancer, finals of the home run derby. This guy, man, and what you talk about a guy that I love. I'll hang out with that guy all day long. That was who I was loving on that guy. Well, that goofy Alfonso or whatever his name is over there doing his thing. I'm pulling for Mancini big time, but yeah, man, the Orioles have got some studs, man. They really do. Like to see some of those guys they have on that team. Ryan Mountcastle's been unbelievable too. So the future's bright in Baltimore. If they can get this thing on track, man, they got a lot of young studs to build off of. So it's cool to see these guys in the All-Star game. You got 2 Reds and 2 Pirates that started for the NL, man. That was really cool to see too. Pirates had 2 starters, and they're the worst team in the world in the National League, but they both deserve it, man. Frazier's been killing it. So it was really cool to see those guys out there too. And Castellanos and Winker totally deserve it. Nick Castellanos is a finalist for the MVP in my vote, man. That guy has been everything for the Reds. And the Reds, man, they're coming up. They're dominating the Brewers. Every time they play them, it seems like they're beating them and keeping the Cubs in it. So thank you, Reds. And but yeah, Castellanos, man, it's fun. It's fun to see all these guys. Like I just really enjoy the All-Star game, man. Nolan Arenado gets a standing ovation from the Colorado crowd. Wasn't sure how they would handle him coming back, with the Cardinals, because he kind of was the one that said, "I'm out of here," So sometimes fan bases don't really like that, and then Colorado's been nothing but good to him since he went back there once with the Rockies and back here also with the All-Star game. So that was cool to see as well. I enjoyed it, man. A lot of fun. A lot of fun to watch that game. What did you think?
Yeah, I didn't get to watch a whole lot of it, but really cool weekend. I'm like you. I like the draft, the way they did it this time. It was really cool. I thought the coverage, and we got to talk about that too. The coverage of the draft was a lot better than in days past, a lot better. You actually had a little more information on some of these players. But the fact that it was All-Star weekend was really cool. The Yankees draft pick got to be in Colorado and meet Aaron Judge and all that, which was cool, and Garrett Cole. So, yeah, I liked it real well. I thought it was cool, man. Some guys that had gotten snubbed were able to go. I mean, it stunk some of the guys that bailed out, but guys like Taijuan Walker, he should have been there to begin with, He's having – I know he didn't have a good all-star game, but he's having an awesome season. The reliever there from the Rays, Kidridge, I think is his name.
Yes.
He should have been there to begin with. Aroldis Chapman shouldn't have been on that team, which, I mean, he still stayed there, but 4.71 ERA. So, yeah, like you said, it was cool to get to see some guys that you don't normally get to see play every day. And, again, I guess we got to give Rob Manfred a little pat on the back for a good weekend. So those were some good changes. So I like that. And that segues right into the draft, EJ. So tell us a little bit about the draft.
Yeah, man. So the draft was a lot of fun this year too. When you turned it on and you saw it, you saw how big it actually was. There's a lot of people there, man. Normally it's in that little Studio 42 that they have on MLB Network, and it's small, man. There's not very many people there. There was a lot of people there this time. That was really cool to see. And the first round was a lot of fun, man. And this is the way it should be. It really should. I loved having it an All-Star weekend. That was, like you said, Manfred deserves credit for this weekend, man. That was a lot of fun. They did it right this time. If they do that moving forward, I think that they'll keep more interest in the draft because it's actually going on when, all these festivities are going on too. I didn't think I got to be honest with you, man. I was a little shocked by Henry Davis going number 1 to the Pirates. I was thrown off. My whole mock got thrown off really fast by them taking him. He's a stud, no doubt. But I really thought Marcelo Mayer was going to go number 1, and he fell to the Red Sox at 4. And David, you are going to see him for years to come, man. Him and Jeter Downs. Ooh.
Yep. The Red Sox are kind of back, man. I mean, on the field and off the field. I mean, that Betts trade made so much fun of them for that trade. And obviously it won the Dodgers a World Series, but in a lot of ways that's panned out good for them too. I mean, they tanked last year. But if you're ever going to tank a year, last year was a good year to do it. They got Verdugo out of it, who's looking like a good player. Jeter Downs, looks like he's the real deal. I think he had a good futures game, if I'm not mistaken, had a couple RBIs.
Yes.
So I could not believe that happened. My worst fear, I think, in that whole draft was that Leiter was going to fall to them and that he was instantly going to be on the roster, but he ends up going to the Rangers. And how about Kumar Rocker falling to 10th to the Mets? That was a big shocker. I guess he lost his luster a little bit after a not so great last part of the year there with Vanderbilt. So what did you think about that?
Yep, you're right. His end of his career there at Vanderbilt and that championship game he threw definitely threw him down, man. Vanderbilt should have won that with Rocker and Leiter. There's no doubt about it. Them not winning the World Series, his stock dropped a little bit, man. It really did. The Mets were more than happy to take him. And I'm not saying he's a terrible pitcher, but give me Leiter all day over him. Leiter is electric, man. holy cow. And we talked off air a little bit about some guys that can help in September. If the Rangers were in it, he'd be up fast. Like, since they're not in it at all, he will not come up this year. But if the Rangers were in the race, that's a guy that would come up in September and help them out, no doubt, because he's ready, man. Like, he's got the stuff. He's ready to go. I was completely bummed out when we get moving down here towards the Cubs. I had my eye on one guy, David, the whole time. Matt McLean out of UCLA, a shortstop, more of a second baseman. I seen him start to get on the picture there. I was hoping, man, he'd fall to us at 21, because I know we've talked about this before. I want the position guy. I want the position guy in the first round. It pans out really well for the Cubs in the past. It's always worked out for them. And I don't like going with the pitcher in the first round unless it's a lighter type player. I don't want it, man. And so Matt McLean goes 17th to the Reds, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, we're at 21. I could not believe it, man. So my guy's gone, and I'm bummed out here. I have no idea what they're gonna do then. And they go with Jordan Wicks at 21 out of Kansas State, left-handed pitcher who went off 4 years there, 6'3", 220. Got to be honest with you, don't know a whole lot about him at all. But he better be good, because
Hey, I heard that he could be on the fast track. We talked about guys. He's very polished, Big 12 pitcher of the year. I actually like that pick. I mean, I know position guys are usually the way to go, but I actually didn't mind that pick that bad, because I mean, Big 12 is a tough baseball conference. Your pitcher of the year, I mean, you've got good stuff, and he's obviously got a good body for it. So, DJ, something I heard on the radio today, you may not have known this. Did you know that the Angels did not select a position player the whole draft? What is going on right now?
So I got to give a little shout out to my assistant coach, Joe Meisner, big Tigers fan. He sent me that yesterday. He goes, the Angels selected all pitchers, and I laughed, and I can't wait to talk to David about this. But David, why the heck would they not? Why the heck would they not? They've been deprived of pitching. They have amazing offensive players. Amazing.
We've got to talk about this. You're drafting for 3 years from now. You're not drafting for like tomorrow. And so it's like, it almost felt like the Angels were trying to address a situation like now.
Yeah.
What is going on right now? I just don't even, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that. I'd like to see what their last year's draft looked like. Maybe they took 18 position players last year and they thought, well, we got to balance it out. We've got to talk about the Angels, DJ. We're just going to veer off into left field here, right here, just real quick. Now you have Mike Trout, Ohtani, Jared Walsh, who's a stud, and if Anthony Rendon, he's got the Swor fantasy team curse on him right now. If he could ever find it, gosh, like, man, the Angels are stacked if they only had some pitching.
This is why I fall in love with them every single year, David, and get kicked in the nuts every time I make a prediction about them, because their offense is crazy, man. It's unbelievable, and they're loaded. They're absolutely loaded in offense, and they just can't find the pit. I thought it was smart. I really did. I mean, maybe not all 20, but you have to at least go 15 pitchers. David, how else are they going to address this? I mean, I don't know how.
Most of these guys, DJ, won't see the field for a minimum. I mean, bare bones minimum of 3 to 4 years. So if I'm the Angels, if I'm truly drafting for now, then I'm going to try to draft the pitchers that are closest to the majors. And then I'm done with that. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way I'm selecting 20 pitchers. I mean, no way. Because it's just not going to help them anytime soon. I mean, Trout will be like 38 by the time these guys get up there. I mean, I hear you talking, but I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, but they've always had the offense over all these years. Their offense has been there, and their pitching has never been there. They're trying to draft, get a few guys out of that. I still think they messed up this offseason with the pitching. I really do. They're just they're such an interesting team, man, and they just don't. With the way Ohtani's been pitching too, man, like Dylan Bundy's been awful. He's been like one of the worst pitchers in the entire league. So I don't even know if he should have a starting job going in the second half anymore.
He doesn't, by the way.
He doesn't?
They
Yeah.
put Quintana and Bundy in the bullpen, and I think they sent Griffin Canning down.
Yeah,
That's
should.
how bad their pitching has been. And, Ohtani, I've actually seen him pitch twice in the last few weeks. He's electric at times. He is really inconsistent, DJ. I don't know if you've got to see him pitch much. I think he walked 7 against the Yankees in like 3 or 4 innings. Obviously, great fastball. I didn't get to see him pitch in the All-Star game to see how that looked. I don't know about Ohtani as a pitcher. I believe he's got great stuff, don't get me wrong. And I believe he's definitely capable. But I don't know. There's something that's not adding up to me. I can't really explain it. I mean, what do you think?
I think he's had a great year. I don't think he can keep doing this for very long, though. I really don't. It's taxing. It's a lot on the body. It's awesome. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is really cool to see him doing what he's doing. And like we've talked about before, we really have, like, if I'm telling him he's doing one thing or the other, he's hitting every day. Like, I'm not taking that bet out of the lineup for him to pitch once every 5 days. The trade-off is never, if a guy can do both, I will never go with him pitching once every 5 days over having him in the lineup killing the ball every single day. That's just stupid. So, can he maintain this year after year after year? Probably not. But what he's doing this year, you got to hand it to him, man. He's been unbelievable. Yeah, it really had. I mean, they're talking about Babe Ruth, and he's not Babe Ruth. Obviously, he's just not. We can't put him up against the greatest player of all time, but what he's doing is what Babe Ruth did, and what made Babe Ruth the greatest of all time is he was able to do this consistently, though, for all those years, which Ohtani I don't think can do, which separates the two, in my opinion. And pump the brakes in the whole Babe Ruth talk. Like, people are like, this is next Babe Ruth. No, he's not the next Babe Ruth. He's not going to hit 715 home runs, and he's not going to drive in all the runs that Babe Ruth did. He's not going to do the things that Babe Ruth did, but for a single season, I can see where they get off on that path and kind of talk about that. But wow, man, it's really fun to watch. And, for him to be in the home run derby, the starting pitcher and the DH, and batting first that's really cool. It's something we've never seen for sure. And he's definitely a generational talent. And when you can throw 99 miles an hour and you can hit a ball 113 miles an hour off a bat, you're a special talent, man. There's no doubt about it. And so he's got it all. He's got everything. But like you said, man, I don't know. I just don't think he can keep it up for year after year, which is a problem.
Well, we'll see. Like, he's electric. I don't want to take anything away from him. Just something soured me on him as a pitcher a little bit. Watching him pitch against the Yankees. I think
he was out in the first inning that game, wasn't he? He was gone fast.
One of those games I watched, I think he walked like 7 in 3 innings, and I think the Yankees did get on him. I think if you take a lot of pitches against Ohtani, I think you can work him down or whatever. But we'll see. Like I said, he's still a young player. People don't realize that. And
how old is he, David?
I think he's like mid-20s or maybe like 26, 27. I don't know exactly, but. I'll check on that here in just a minute, but he's unbelievable. He's on a Roger Maris pace, which is really cool. As far as we know, that's not, he's not tainted in any way. So he would, be the first, I guess, unsteroid guy that we know of that's challenging that record legitimately. So that's pretty cool. He's fun to watch, man. He's fun to watch. And when he hits bombs, he hits bombs. They are no doubters. So pretty cool. Hey, DJ, how big of a moron is Stephen A. Smith? Let's just park right there for just a second.
Oh, gosh. What did he say now?
You didn't hear it?
No.
He was talking about Shohei Ohtani, and here we are in the era of, everybody's a racist. And he basically said that Ohtani shouldn't be the face of baseball because he can't speak English.
Oh, my gosh.
What's wrong with He's 20. By the way, Ohtani's 27. And of course, let's just be honest. I'm gonna get in the weeds here. I don't get paid to talk about this stuff, so I don't really care what people think about me. DJ, if Trey Wingo says that. I just pulled a name out of the hat. If Matt Vasgersian says that, is there any way he's calling Sunday Night Baseball the next week?
No, he'll have to go to Bob Burnley sensitivity training.
Right. But somehow Stephen A. Smith apologizes and just all goes away. Listen, if there was any possible way I could not watch ESPN again, I wouldn't, because I'm sick and tired of this game they're trying to play. Me and my dad were talking about this, and my dad, he knows how bad I hate A-Rod, so he doesn't agree or disagree. I just want to throw that out there. I don't want anybody thinking that, he said any of this stuff, because he didn't. But DJ, what possible reason other than diversity can you think of that A-Rod would ever be calling a game? I'm being serious, not just because of my hatred of A-Rod, but he's so bad at it. He's so bad at it. He's a dirtbag. He's a proven liar.
Yeah.
Why in the world is he allowed to call a game? Other than, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm way off in the weeds.
No, you're right, though. Like, how does a guy like that, who's done so much dirty in the game, out of the game, why is he like the face of Sunday Night Baseball? Like, when a lot of people sit down and watch it with their kids, and you got this guy A-Rod, who's about as dirty as they come in every way, shape, and form, calling the game.
And you're paying him to talk about baseball. You're paying him to ask him questions, about the integrity of the game. It's disgusting.
I can't. Disgusting. Stephen A. Smith, he needs to just be fired in general because of all the race stuff he brings up. He tries to start fights, where there's no fights, and
the biggest race baiter in the world.
Yeah,
and
he's a race baiter.
Statement.
He's a race baiter. He's been that way for this entire last year and a half with all this stuff. I'm sick of it. I've seen a lot of things he said and a lot of things that he gets away with, and he shouldn't get away with it. Nobody, no matter what your color is, should get away with that kind of stuff. And it just seems like different, I don't know. I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole, but
sorry, I took us there. Let's jump out of it. Let's jump out of the rabbit hole. So let's talk a little bit about the Cubs, DJ. Driving home today, and on MLB they were talking about the Cubs and the impending sell-off that's coming.
Nope.
So great, DJ. They said something, and I thought to myself, I wish DJ was sitting in this car with me right now. I just thought this was hilarious because I know how much you love this guy. They actually said that Anthony Rizzo has no trade value. I'm just going to push that over to you and let you go crazy.
No, I agree. I 100% agree.
I love Anthony Rizzo.
I love him too, but what are you going to get for Anthony Rizzo? I mean, seriously.
Apparently nothing. They were saying that he probably won't even get traded, that Bryant's definitely gone, that Hendricks is definitely gone, Kimbrel's definitely
gone.
Yep. And that Javi Baez is most likely gone.
No.
But they definitely made reference to the fact that Javi Baez was overrated, which I thought you would love as well.
Okay, listen. This is going to happen. Craig Kimbrel is going to get traded. And I would trade Craig Kimbrel. I'd get whatever I could out of getting Craig Kimbrel. Our bullpen, as we've talked about many times on this podcast, is our strength. Ryan Tepera could be our closer tomorrow if I'd be completely happy with that.
Not for the last week. It hasn't been a strength. I've been watching.
Come on, 1 week out of the entire season, they have a bad week. Come on, man. We've talked about their numbers.
Like 10 in a row. It tanked their season. They're done.
They are not done. They are 8 games back with 80 games to go. Done. Totally fine. We're good. We play the Brewers many, many times coming up, so there's no need to panic. I'm not there yet. Craig Kimbrel will get traded. That is very true. However, man, like you said, I don't think that it's gonna. I really don't think that any of the big guys are gonna get traded. I really don't. And by the big guys, I'm talking Bryant, Rizzo, Baez, Contreras. Of those 4 guys, none of them guys are gonna go at the deadline. I really believe that. I do.
Why?
Like you said,
why do you believe that?
Why would you? Why would you trade them guys? You get no value. You just said
they're not going to win, and Bryant is going to have a ton of value.
Nothing for them. Let them walk, David. I'll let them all walk. See ya. Give me my pick.
Bryant they can definitely get something for Bryant. Baez, I look at Baez sometimes. The Yankees got a problem at shortstop right now. They have a real problem at shortstop. Glaber, number one, is not hitting, and number two, he's not very good defensively. So part of me is kind of like, man, I'd like to see Baez come over there, but I haven't watched that much Baez. I might change my mind. But I definitely think that Rizzo's going to hold. I'm not Rizzo. Bryant's going to hold a ton of value. Some team's going to want Hendricks, man. So one of these playoff-bound teams is going to need Hendricks. He's been good, man. So I can't wait. It's going to be the
Hendricks
best.
has been brought up in any talks. You're the one breaking that to me. That's a first time.
Like I said, I just heard on MLB today. They just said that they're going to break that team up. All these guys are gone. They're going to break them up, get prospects for them, which I don't blame them. I mean, the Yankees are in a similar position, and they're not going to sell. I don't think they're going to sell. I think they're too dumb to sell. But I wish they would. Like, are you going to let Bryant walk for a draft pick? You can't do that. They could definitely get something better than that this year. They're not going to win. It's not going to happen. Just like the Yankees aren't going to win.
So who are they going to keep? That's what I'm. If you're getting rid of them all, I mean, you're not starting from scratch. They've already said that they're not getting rid of all these guys. So who are they building around? Like, they getting rid of one of them and building around the other three? They get rid of two of them and building around the other two? They're not getting rid of all four. People are smoking something crazy if they think all the four of these guys are going. Like, they're not going.
Me, I'm selling off everything that I can because they're all free agents. Just re-sign them next year. Do the Aroldis Chapman. I'll give you Aroldis Chapman for 2 months. I'll take Gleyber Torres, and in the offseason, then I'll sign him again. Just do that.
Man, that's Brian Cashman move right there. I got to give him props on that. That was awesome. That just doesn't happen,
Why wouldn't the Cubs do that?
I see. The thing is like, once you start messing with like, hey, we're gonna trade you and blah blah blah, then your chances of signing somebody once that happens or go down significantly. It just does. Like, they don't
reportedly, there's hard feelings already from Bryant. I think the chances are real slim that they keep him. Baez and Rizzo, okay, but I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna pump. Here's the thing, like, okay, and I understand this, but like, this is my whole thing with Bryant. He said all along that he does not want to go anywhere, that he wants to be a Cub. Okay, and I understand that maybe, hey, that's that's what everybody should say when they're on that team. That's just a status. That's what you got to say when you're on that team. You can't say, well, yeah, I'd love to be traded, obviously. Okay, but I legitimately think he's hurt by the rumors. I really do. Like, I think it bothers him. And Jed Hoyer saying, we're not trading you and blah blah blah, and he says, hey, I want to be here, and he had like a 10-minute interview on the radio saying he doesn't want to go anywhere. He wants to sign here long term. He wants to be here. Well, then
trade him and re-sign him. That's exactly my point. If Chapman didn't want to leave. He told people going out the door, I'll see you guys next year. So if that's the case, we're building a better team. I mean, here's the other problem, DJ, with the Cubs. It's been a while since that team's been any good. Let's just be honest about it. Again, the Yankees are in the same spot. So this isn't just me just bashing, but it's fact. That team hasn't been that good in recent memory. And they've already started the breakup. When Schwarber left, I think you blow it up. For more than one reason. I mean, like I said, number one, they just haven't been good. Sometimes you just got to blow up and say, okay, this isn't working. We got to do something else.
Good as in mean winning the World Series, because we've made the playoffs every year for the last
4 years ago, 5 years ago.
We were in the playoffs last year.
So were the Yankees. You got to blow it up, man. You got to blow it. It's stale.
It's stale.
It is.
Oh, man, I will tell you this. So Kyle Schwarber, let's go there for a second. I mean, we talked about how him and Jock Peterson are the same player. Well, of course, Kyle, Schwarber is having his career year, and Jock Peterson's best times were in spring training, unfortunately. So Kyle Schwarber was on a historic pace, 16 games, 16 homers in 18 games, 10 homers in 12 games. Those are both records, things we've never seen ever by any slugger. this is unbelievable. And then he hurts his hand, it hurts his leg, and he's out of the All-Star game. He's out of the Derby. What a bummer, man. I wanted to see that. Yeah. I mean, and the Nationals, man. Wow. I mean, the Nationals are going to be one of those teams like the Cubs that, hey, are we selling this thing? We giving Scherzer to the Yankees? What are we doing here? And I heard that rumor.
Let's just jump over there real quick. DJ, it kills me that they're talking about not spending more money, but not selling off. So that pretty much tells me Hal Steinbrenner might be a moron, because you have this financial flexibility and that you're the richest team in baseball. When would you use it? Right now. If you truly believed that this team could win, then you drop the money and you do it. Richest franchise in sports. If you don't believe it, if you're not going to spend the money, then you sell it off for next year.
Yep.
Tell me where I'm wrong on that.
I mean, I don't know.
They're $4 million under the tax threshold. If they went $20 million over it, then they would be taxed. And I know these are big numbers. We don't spend this kind of money, but we're talking about a team that's worth billions. You're talking about a $2 or $3 million luxury hit or something.
Right.
I don't know. If I'm the Yankees, I'm going to use my financial might, and I'm going to find guys on bad contracts that can help me. Right now, the Yankees need a left fielder really bad. And we talked about Jock Peterson, and we talked about Hayward. Just to be honest with you, I'd take Jason Hayward right now. If somehow or another I could get the Cubs to eat a whole bunch of salary and give you nothing for him, yeah, I'll take Jason Hayward. Because Brett Gardner can't hit. Clint Frazier can't hit. Just to have a lefty in the lineup would be nice. We don't have any lefties.
You got to find somebody besides Jason Hayward if you want a hitter, man. Great defense.
That's what I'm saying is that's the kind of guy that I would be interested in. I wouldn't give up. If I'm the Yankees, I give up none of my prospects. I'm not giving up any of them. So the only way you're going to accomplish anything is to find guys that teams just want rid of because of money. Well, what's the one thing the Yankees got plenty of? Money. So I'll take on some money. I'm not going to give you anything, but you want rid of this guy. And, even a guy like Jock Peterson, I think he's signed for another year. If the Cubs are truly in sell mode, I'll take Jock Peterson next year. You know what I mean? I'll eat the money. But anyway, the Yankees, I've seen the most epic meltdown I've ever seen out of a reliever, DJ. Aroldis Chapman has lost it. It's so crazy. And they know he's lost it. So bad that, they're running Chad Green and Jonathan Loaizaga out there for saves right now.
We're talking about dominant start too, David. Dominant. Untouchable. Historic.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with that dude. I have to believe that it's something pretty major because they avoided using him at all costs. They had I don't even know if you know who Lucas Litke is, warming up the other night in the ninth instead of Aroldis Chapman. That's how bad it is.
Wow.
And they lost 2 games this past week. The 2 games they lost were due to they could have really easily been 6-0 this past week. Took 2 or 3 from the Mariners, then took 2 or 3 from the Astros. Could have just easily been 6-0, but the relief corps melted down. So the Yankees, they're still technically, I think, only 4 games out of the wild card. So
8 games back like the Cubs are, man. It's not time to panic yet.
I'm just not a believer in this team whatsoever. But, all it would take is just a little spark in the bats. The pitching has actually been really good. By the way, DJ, Garrett Cole is the man. I loved it so much. Did you see him tell Boone to get his hind end back in the dugout the other night? So listen to this, man. 1-0. They're playing the Astros. It's the 9th inning. There's 2 outs. A lefty's coming up, Yordan Alvarez, and Chapman's warming in the pen. Boone must have looked in his little book and said, spin rates, blah, 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 analytics, blah, 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 blah. I have to take him out now. So he walks out there, and Garrett Cole, I don't know what he said. His exact words were, I cussed a lot, and then I think I blacked out because I don't remember. But basically, I'm not coming out. He was 125 pitches. Guess what? 399 mile-an-hour fastballs, Bye, Jordan. Get off my field.
Oh,
Go watch that, DJ, because the funniest thing about it is Luke Voigt in the back with a smirk on his face. You know, they had the meeting on the mound, and Luke Voigt's sitting back there, and he's just got, you can tell he's about ready to laugh. And Garrett Cole's going off, blah, 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 blah. And Aaron Boone just turns around and walks off. It's awesome. I love Garrett Cole. Everybody was ready to crap on him after 2 bad starts. I knew that wasn't going to be the case. He's the man. Garrett Cole is the man.
yeah. I don't doubt that for 1 second. He was the man with the Pirates. I mean, of all teams, if you're the man on the Pirates, like, you're legit. So he's good. There's no doubt about it. I did not get to see that. I will see that eventually, really quick here. But David, man, I'm telling you, man, we're not the Orioles. We're not 26 games out right now. So yes, here's the thing, man. From the time that I talked to you last on this podcast until now, we were literally in first place, David. First place. We go on this road trip, 10 games. Who gives us a 10-game road trip, by the way? Who else had a 10-game road trip? That's garbage. Who makes this schedule? Gives us a 10-game road trip? What is that? I'm ticked off about that, by the way. 10-game road trip? That's ridiculous. Who gets that? Anyway, so we throw a no-hitter against the Dodgers the first game of that series. A combined no-hitter. The only time that's ever happened in Cubs history, which was awesome. That was a great, we're in first place, just threw a no-hitter. We go on to lose 11 in a row. And David, I went to the game, and I'm going to tell you this story because this is I'm kind of embarrassed by it a little bit. So it's the first time I've been to a game, obviously, since 2019 with the whole crap that went on last year, and my season going into June this year. So it's the first time I was actually had some time to go. So I go, me and Nicole go. Great time. Don't get me wrong. It was awesome. Good to get away. Got 4 kids. Good to get out with each other every once in a while. Have some fun. Anyway, David, that's the first time in my entire life going to Wrigley that I've left a game early. I left in the top of the 8th. When you've watched 11 losses in a row and you're watching one live, just kind of enough's enough, man. It was hard. It was like I just couldn't take it anymore, and it just wasn't. I was just done. I was like, let's just beat the traffic out of here and go, and I was fine with it. I've never ever gone to Wrigley and left until the last pitch is thrown. That's the first time that's ever happened. That's just where we're at, and it's unfortunate. And they played a little bit better towards the end of the break here, but it was bad. It was a brutal road trip. It was the worst thing that could have possibly happened in July, of course. So the trade talks just start going, boop, 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 and this team was in first place, and all of a sudden it's like, here we go. Now we're talking about what we talked about for 10 minutes here with the Cubs. I honestly, David, I know there's about 15 days left till the trade deadline. I just don't see it. I see, a few of the pieces going, no doubt. There's going to be some trades made by the Cubs. Kimbrel probably will go, and I agree with that. Maybe you trade Jock, or maybe you trade Hayward, or maybe you trade somebody like that. Don't see one of the 4 going at the deadline. I really don't.
FanGraphs says the Cubs' chances right now at 9%, DJ. 9%.
It was 35% before that road trip, all the way down to 9%.
And 35 is not even a good chance, DJ. It's not. That's. I don't know, man. Again, I just like the Yankees. If I'm a Cubs fan, I don't want a half measure. Either play to win, which means add pieces, or blow it up. That's where I'm at with it. So I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. Several teams need third baseman. The Mets, are rumored in on that. There's a lot of teams that could use Bryant in left field. The Yankees could use Bryant in left field. I hope they don't trade for him, because that would mean they have to give up something. Normally, I would love to have Chris Bryant on my team, but not this
better
year.
Outfielder than a third baseman. Like, if you need a defensive third baseman, don't go get Chris Bryant. You need an outfielder, go get Chris Bryant. He can play all 3 of them pretty good. He loves center field more than them all. He said that the other day. It was kind of cool to hear, and I don't blame him at all for liking center more. It's the best position to play. I mean, you got you got everybody around you, and you're not worried about corners. You get to see the ball from the pitcher. You got a front view. It's awesome, man. He loves it. He's a good outfielder, but he's going to be a Cub on August 1st, and he'll be a Cub for a long time when they sign him to that big deal.
We'll see. So real quick, DJ, let's run down these standings. So here we are again. San Francisco, they're still there. It's so hilarious. I can't remember who it is on MLB Network, but about every 2 weeks, whoever that person is will say on July 31st, on July 15th, the Giants are going to be in third place. Mark my words. And then it's like, well, on July the 31st, it's going to be the 31st. They're going to be in third place. But here they are. What is going on? It's like voodoo. I don't get it.
I'm not sure either, man. I don't understand it. I thought for sure by this point that it'd be over with. 57 wins, David. That's ridiculous. There's not a single team in the entire league that has more wins than they do right now, and it's crazy. And they've got the Dodgers and the Padres behind them. And the Padres are ridiculous, David. And they're in third place.
Okay.
They're in third place.
They're struggling. As a matter of fact, that was one of the teams that they said could really use Hendricks right now because Darvish is out. Snell's been terrible. He's out. Obviously, Clevenger is out for the year. So
yeah.
We're talking about the Padres are scrambling a little bit right now. Weathers is the other guy that's out.
You're right. I thought you were talking about in general they're struggling. They're not struggling in general, but injury-wise, you're totally right. Yeah, they're definitely looking for some pieces there. And Darvish going down. Hopefully he's back pretty quick. He won't miss a start with the break here, but we'll see. That's definitely nothing to shake their heads at or anything because that's your ace, obviously. So, and Snell, man, that's been a bummer because you know what, man? Maybe bring up Mackenzie Gore. Let's see what he's got. If you're this good and he's that good.
He's been a disaster.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
He's so bad they sent him. I actually looked him up today because I was just curious. They actually sent him to the alternate site. He was getting shelled in AAA, so that's not an option at this point. So pretty crazy. That's somebody to watch as far as looking for a pitcher. It's definitely somebody that could be looking around, but it's just crazy to me that they're still in first place. Milwaukee, I think I'm the guy that picked that, DJ. Just want to throw that out there. They're still hanging out up there, and the Reds, man, they're closing hard. Winker, and we talked about that, Castellanos. They're going to be getting Moustakas back. I talked to Kearns about that this week. They don't even know where they're going to play him. I guess the Suarez experience at shortstop was terrible, and
that was dumb.
India's playing great at second. Your boy Votto is starting to hit again. Pitching's finally coming back around. So the Reds are going to be hard for the Cubs to pass, man.
Well, 8-2 in their last 10, the Reds are, man, and they play the Brewers coming out of the gate here too, which helps them a lot. Anytime you get to play the first place team, that always helps you get a chance to climb up the standings a little bit there. And yeah, the Reds have been legit, man. And I'm being serious about this. If it wasn't for them, like the Cubs would be out of it right now because the Reds have they've destroyed the Brewers. And I meant to look this up before we came on here, but I'd be interested to see what the Reds head-to-head against the Brewers is this year. They've been dominating them and keeping them at bay because the Brewers were running away with it, man. The time the Cubs were losing 10, they were winning 10, which made it even worse. Is the Brewers were on fire when the Cubs were just ice cold, man, and that killed us. It completely killed us. And the Reds have kept them at bay a little bit with beating them so many times. So I appreciate the Reds more than you know right now. And the Cardinals are sticking around a little bit, but they're a joke. And the Pirates had 2 All-Stars, so we'll just leave them at that.
Yep. Staying in the NL, the Mets, despite a lot of injuries, they're still hanging up there. What an awesome signing. The dude that picked up Taiwan Walker end up being kind of a game saver there, man. And they got him for cheap. I'm thinking it's like 2 years at 10 a year or something like that. And so, for a pitcher of his caliber, that's awesome. But obviously they got the best pitcher on the planet, which is DeGrom. You know that they got the money they're going to be adding. The Phillies are kind of hanging around. That's one of your picks to click from the beginning of the year was the Phillies and the Braves further back. And like you said, the Nationals kind of hanging around in the back there. But that's going to be a fun division. I still just can't believe the Braves aren't going to make the playoffs. I just have a feeling there's a run left in them somewhere.
Acuna Jr. going down hurt them pretty bad, though.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Losing Acuna and Ozuna, ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
That is severely going to hurt their chances. I actually forgot about that. I think that was the game before the All-Star break.
It was unfortunate. Hate to see that, man.
Blew his knee out or whatever. So Houston's still dominating. So and my World Series pick still kicking. But the Yankees, man, the Yankees kind of mowed them down. I don't know if you saw anything about that series. Aaron Judge made a motion as if he was doing the Altuve, don't take my shirt off after a home run. Altuve didn't appreciate it and hits a bomb to win the last game. Why do the Yankees keep messing with him? I don't understand it. When Judge did that, I was pretty much like, oh my gosh, like just let the thing die. But obviously the Yankees still salty about that. But Oakland's still hanging around, just 3.5 games back. The Mariners got hot there until they ran into the Yankees. They're 7 games back. And like I said, there's the Angels at 9 games back. If they only had some pitching. DJs, you're going to have to talk to your boy Dylan Bundy. I don't know what's happened to that dude. He's back to the old Dylan Bundy.
Oh.
So, and then we can move over to the Central, DJ, the best team in the American League, the Fighting Tony La Russas. And guess what, DJ? They're getting ready to get a big piece back. I can't wait. It's just going to add. I don't know. It's just super exciting to be a Chicago fan right now.
You sicken me, man. You sicken me. I will be at the Comiskey Field here coming up pretty quick to go watch them play. Sit in the upper deck for like $1.
Nice.
And watch a first place team for like $1. Why not? But yeah, man. Cleveland has been atrocious recently. 3-7 in their last 10. They've fallen apart a little bit. Aaron Savali, he's coming back. Hopefully they can help them a little bit too. But man, the Indians, 8 game when your second place team is 8 games back, that's like where the Cubs are now. Tied with the Cardinals there in 4th place, 3rd place, 4th place. So White Sox have opened up a pretty big lead there in the Central, and Detroit, Minnesota, and Kansas City pretty much out of it. So they got to worry about one team there is Cleveland, and Cleveland can get hot and get it back in that race. They play the White Sox a ton in the second half, and so not over yet, but they've definitely separated themselves a little bit here.
I don't know if you saw the rumor from John Heyman a few days ago saying that Cleveland may sell off a bunch of that pitching, including Bieber. So I find that really hard to believe.
Ooh.
But yeah, he says that they're kind of in the middle of a reset, that they just were better than they thought they were going to be, and that Plesac and Bieber and Savali might be on the block. So that's going to be interesting.
You better give me a load for Shane Bieber. That's
what they're banking on. Yeah, that's what they're banking on, is getting that load before he starts getting expensive. So
not a Yu Darvish load.
Or
the dumbest trade I've ever seen.
So back to the East, Boston, that still mystifies me a little bit, DJ, just because their pitching is so. Matt Barnes has been amazing.
Matt Barnes is awesome.
But I'm not a believer in Evaldi. I'm not a believer in Garrett Richards. They are getting ready to get Sale back, so that can make a big difference. And like you said, Scherzer will look good at the top of that rotation as well. So we'll see what they do. I just don't believe in them. I just don't. But they've proved me a liar so far. Tampa Bay's nipping at the heels right now. They would be the wild card team. Can't ever count them out, that's for sure. The Blue Jays and the Yankees are tied there for 3rd. Not a believer in either one of those teams right now. And, of course, Baltimore is one of the worst teams on the planet. So what do you think about the race there in the East?
That's a great race. I really love that race. It's been like this all year long. Toronto's offense is unbelievable. They pretty much own the All-Star game with having the amount of representatives that they had. Vladdy was the MVP of that game. Well-deserved, by the way. What a stud. 22 years old, All-Star game MVP. Youngest one ever. Sky's the limit for that guy. He's in shape. He's ready to go. He's mashing. Yankees are not out of it by any means. Need a lot of help. I'm I think your Yankees are going to be a little active at the deadline. I really do. Seems to be that way. Cashman has already said they're not in sell mode, so it's going to be interesting. Toronto, we'll see what they do at the deadline, if they're thinking they're in it or not. If they think they're in it, they can put some pieces together and make a run here too. It's loaded. What a division that is. That's a very, very loaded division. Very studly. I don't know if you have a better, let's say, a top 4 like that, okay? Because the NL West has a top 3 that's better than that. But I'm going 4 deep in the AL East, and there's not a division in baseball that has 4 teams like that right now. So it's a great race. There's a lot of great races going on. This is a lot of fun. Trade deadline coming up in a couple weeks. I know you're going to be super excited, especially in like 2 weeks from now when we get the really hot rumors going on coming up to the official deadline.
It's going to be awesome.
Man, we'll have to look into seeing if we can get the podcast right at the deadline, get a little live. No, I don't want that. No. That's a terrible idea. Never mind.
It would be awesome. Hey, the Yankees got the Rays and the Red Sox right out, so they could be buried.
That's what I'm saying. You could either go one way really hard or you can go the other way really hard, and so that's what keeps them in it, man. Is they got these teams at the top coming out of the gate. You can make a push. You can make an even better push, setting up for the end of July where you add pieces and now you're even closer. Not over, man.
Yep. Well, DJ, I guess that wraps it up. Did we miss anything?
No, we didn't. The one thing I did want to say real quick about the Dodgers, I guess, is let's just talk about this from the baseball perspective. Trevor Bauer is probably done with for the entire season. I don't see him coming back. And David, from a baseball perspective, the Dodgers are, Dustin May and Trevor Bauer out. That is not good, man. And we talked about how deep they were, which is kind of saving them. So they're going to have to go to David Price, Josiah Gray, maybe a little bit, Gonsolin, Jimmy Nelson. They've got options. They could also trade to get another pitcher, which they could do whatever they want. Basically, they're the Dodgers. But let me just say one thing about this. I won't go too far into this. It's unfortunate from all aspects of this. And me and you have talked about this really in depth, and I don't really know if we want to go super in depth on this. The only thing I got to say is you went back for seconds, so you kind of lost me a little bit. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of different things that went on here, but you kind of lost me there. So should he be out for the entire season? Not sure I believe that, man. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm with you. The only thing that I guess just blows my mind is just the violent nature of the whole thing. We've all seen the pictures of her. Again, maybe not all of that was him. I don't know. It's just hard to – when you live in a CD world, like apparently both those individuals live in, I don't know who I believe in any of that. But I'll just say if he did that to her, man, I don't know. I'm just having a tough time getting on board with that. I
agree.
You definitely asked for it based upon those texts. I'm not sure she asked to be beat to a pulp like that. So anyway, I don't know.
I agree.
Trevor Bauer is disgusting
to
me.
Yeah.
I'll never have any respect for him ever again. I don't care if he ever pitches again. I'm tired of the sideshow. I was tired of it last year, but you had to respect him for what he did. But I could care less if he ever pitches again.
I totally agree with everything that you said. Don't let me say that Trevor Bauer is completely innocent in all this. I don't believe that. But I do think it's really dumb she went back for seconds. That's all I'm leaving it at. That's just absolutely – you're an idiot. I'm sorry. If you go back to that after what he did the first time you're saying, then a little bit of that is on you. I'm sorry. It really is.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
You did it a second time, that's on you. It really is. The first time if he did it and she said, whoa, and did all this and came out, didn't go back second time, I'm with her, She went back the second time, man. That's where I get a little lost in this. I'm sorry, and I know this is a very sensitive subject, and like you said, I do not agree with anything that Trevor Bauer did, so don't get me wrong here. I'm just saying she made a really bad move going back the second time. That's all I'm saying. But from a baseball perspective, Dodgers are in a little trouble, man. Let's just be honest. He's a stud on the mound, okay? And then sideshows, they're terrible. I don't like anything about him. I love the Dodgers, and I absolutely hate Trevor Bauer. So it's kind of weird. But I don't know, man. They got some decisions to make here at the deadline too, so it'd be interesting to see what the Dodgers do here at the end. So, David, yeah, man, I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun tonight. We had a ton of subjects here. It's been a while since we've talked, so we had to do some catching up tonight, man.
Yep, I enjoyed it. Hey, like our podcast, share it, and we'll see you guys hopefully next week.
All right, thanks everybody.